you going? My name's Matthew. I'm the resident blacksmith here at the Chickenport Blacksmith. I'm just going to go through a bit of a run through of all the things I do here, okay? And I hope you enjoy. So there's many tools that the blacksmiths used back in the day. So the most obvious one is the forge here. This forge is actually called a hooded forge because of course of the big hood over the top. Okay, so this forge here is about 150 years old. There's most, and also an industrial forge. So because it was an industrial forge, it had a cooling system. So there's a trough in the back here, and it comes all the way underneath to keep the forge nice and cool so it didn't warp. Okay, then of course it had most of the other features of the forge, so all the fire bricks inside, and also had the true iron. Now what the true iron is used for is actually lets the air in or out of the forge by pulling the lever. Okay. Now unlike most forges that back in the day they used to have the old bellows where you have to pump them, this forge actually has a fan, so it makes my job a lot easier. So back in the day guys, blacksmiths used to get all their steel from smelters. Okay, so the smelters, they would get iron ore from the miners, so the miners would dig it out of the iron ore out of the ground, the smelters would smelt it down, okay, and put it into casts. Now the most common cast that smelters used to use looked like a pig and its piglet suckling, and that's where you get the term pig iron from. The only people that supplied steel back in the day was the smelters, so that's where also you get the term whoever smelted dealt it. It was actually whoever smelted the steel was the people that dealt the steel. Another thing that's important for a blacksmith as well is what fuel he uses in his forge. Okay, so I use charcoal, which is sourced locally, so this is red gum charcoal. Okay guys, what was mostly common back in the day was coke and coal. Okay, so what coke and coal is, how they make that is they burn, when you dig coal out of the ground it contains sulphur, so what they do is they burn the sulphur out of it, cool it down, and then you have the coke and coal. Okay, so way back in the day they actually used to just burn coal straight out of the ground until they realised that the sulphur was making them very sick. Okay, the reason you don't use timber guys is because you can't get quite enough heat, okay? It just doesn't get the heat for you to actually heat your steel up. So the average working temperature for a blacksmith is 800 degrees. Okay, so 800 degrees, what you can do with that is do a lot of your bending and twirling, so if you wanted to make all your scroll work and everything, okay, so that's the best temperature for that. If you wanted to do all your flattening out, you get it up to about 900, and if you just wanted to do rough bending, you get it up to 700. This temperature here is called white temperature, okay, that's about 1090 degrees, okay. As it's cooling down up near the top here, that's yellow. Okay, that's about 900 degrees. As you can see, it's starting to cool down again, guys. So this is about orange, which is about 800 degrees. Okay, and the red up here is about 600 degrees up here as you're slowly coming down. Another tool that blacksmiths used was the anvil. Okay, so this anvil here is the style of it's called an Old English anvil. Okay, so there's different components of the anvil. We have the horn and the shoulder. Also we have the table of the anvil, the face, and then of course we have two holes here. So the two holes, one's called the hardy hole. So you put all your cutting wedges and everything, so if you want to cut a piece of steel you can. Okay, we also have the bristle hole, which helps punch all your holes into the steel. Then we have the heel of the anvil, then the waist, which is down here, the foot, and then the base. Okay, so this anvil here weighs about 207 pounds, which is about 102 kilos. Another earlier tool that blacksmiths used to use is this one here, which is called a spring hammer. So it's a little bit different to a power hammer for the fact that it actually has, well, sort of similar to leaf springs here. Okay, and what this was used for, instead of using that hammer and anvil, what you do is you put your foot on this here, that'll flick up and down, and you put your steel in there to bash it out. So it'll save your shoulders and arms from continuously beating off a thick piece of steel. As you can see above me, guys, this is how the spring hammer would work. It would work by all these pulleys up here. Okay, so how it would all work is you'd have the belts and everything going along with the pulleys, and then you would have a bottle top pump actually running the whole machine. So it was like a big pump that had a big wheel, and all the belts and everything ran off it. Thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned a little bit about blacksmithing. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.